Max.
We made that more famous. I'm just kidding. Thank you for tuning in. It is Wednesday night, and it's time for another installment of the Ruckus podcast. I'm your host, Jay LaBeouf, RB&J, back at it again for another Wednesday night of boxing talk. Tonight, we're going to be joined by Adam Abramowitz of SN Boxing, and we're also going to be joined by Jose Benavidez Sr., the trainer, co-manager, and father of Jose Benavidez Jr., who fought against Chia Santana this past Saturday night on the Crawford versus Postol undercard. So before we jump right into it, let me bring on my co-host, my ace boom coon, the raging babe herself, Michelle Rosado. What's going on, RB?
Hey, Jay, what's good? Lots of boxing on this week. We're going to get to break down and preview a bunch of the fights. And as Jay said, we have Jose Benavidez Sr. calling on the show tonight. We wanted to make sure that we got his side of the story. We had Chia Santana and Benavidez Sr. He's ready to rock and roll. He wants to get a lot of stuff off his chest tonight, Jay, and we're going to let him do it. That's what we do here.
That's right. We like to hear all sides of the story. As you may know, we had Chia Santana on the Morning Punch-In show this past Monday to speak his piece, and he was pretty adamant that he felt that he won the fight. He listed the reasons why. Outworking. In case you missed it, you can go to the YouTube channel and listen to it, to the Bad Culture TV YouTube channel, and check out our interview with Francisco Chia Santana. And so tonight we'll hear from Team Benavidez. Junior himself is out in parts unknown, undoubtedly celebrating his win. So we will talk to his father trainer and get his point of view. We were ringside for the fight, RB. What did you think of the outcome for those who didn't tune in to the Morning Punch-In?
Well, let me first start off by saying I'm not quite sure that Junior is out there celebrating. This guy, he's caught a lot of scrutiny his past several fights. You know, he's winning these fights and the crowd doesn't like it. The scorecards are real shitty. And so we want to talk to his dad tonight about how is Junior doing? You know, is he in good spirits? Is he down? You know, he wins a fight, but, you know, can he even enjoy it? I honestly thought that the fight could have been a draw. I wasn't angry, but I was angry at the scorecards. I mean, the one judge had it a complete shutout. You know, that
right.
was just really lame. That was very disrespectful. So we'll hear from Benavidez how they're making out. It's got to be tough on them, you know. It's kind of bittersweet.
I agree. This is like the second consecutive fight now or actually even the third consecutive fight where there's been some challenges or people have questioned his heart or the win, and so it's got to be tough for them. So we're looking forward to speaking with them. Also, definitely looking forward to speaking with Adam Abramowitz. If you don't currently follow him on Twitter, his Twitter name is SN Boxing. A great site, great follow, very knowledgeable. Follow him join his Facebook group, and I'm sure he's going to have plenty to say about the weekend's fight cards. Adam never disappoints. Don't you agree, RB?
You know, Adam is great. He's a great writer. He has an awesome group on Facebook called SN Boxing, which I love, and I go to it every single day. He's got a really good group going there, and he calls it right down the middle every time. He's not biased. He'll give you, you know, honest opinions. His writing is great. So we're lucky to have him on this week because there is a lot of fights this weekend, and a lot of them are going to be really close to call. And I'm interested to see, you know, how he's going to break it down and who he's predicting to win and how.
And in news today, of course, announcing some upcoming fights. I saw this as we got ready to broadcast that they had the official press conference today in Mexico City. Antonio Margarito back in the ring again. He will be fighting against Canelo's older brother, Ramon Inocente Alvarez. They'll be fighting down in Mexico in August. I don't know why Margarito continues to fight, but he wants to, so it is what it is.
Come on, Jay. That's easy. He needs money. And you know what? Nobody in the United States is going to grant him a license. He's going to have to continue to fight in Mexico. And you know what? Honestly, you heard it here first. If I had to put my money on it, the only commission in the United States of America that would license him would be the state of Arizona. Mark my words. If he fights here, he's going to be fighting in Phoenix or Arizona. Listen, I have a little bit of word on the curb that Mitch Abramson put out earlier, and I was going to hold on to it, but he actually put it out there 2 hours ago, and I'm going to go ahead and put that icing on the cake and validate it. So Frank Galarza, Brooklyn fighter, he was supposed to be fighting on the August 21st card with Earl Spence out there in Coney Island, but he's been pulled from that card, and he will be facing Ishe Smith in September in Las Vegas. So you heard it here. If you don't follow Mitch Abramson, make sure you do at mabramson13 on Twitter, and you also heard it here. So Frank Galarza versus Ishe Smith.
Well, there it is. And without further ado, let's bring on Adam Abramowitz of SN Boxing. What's going on tonight, Adam?
Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Always a pleasure.
Hi, Adam.
Did we lose Adam?
I'm here.
Oh, okay. Hey, let's do a proper introduction. Adam Abramowitz, SN Boxing on Twitter, writer and founder of SaturdayNightBoxing.com, Transnational Boxing Rankings board member from Philadelphia. We are honored to have you on tonight, and I want to break down all these good fights with you this weekend and get your input.
Sounds great.
All right,
well,
Jay,
let's
kick it off.
Let's get into it. Let's start off with this Friday, July 29th, live from Quebec City on PBC on Spike. Adonis Stevenson has stopped taking pictures long enough of his cars and himself to actually get in the ring. He'll be getting in the ring against Thomas Top Dog Williams for Stevenson's WBC light heavyweight title this Friday night on Spike. Adam Abramowitz, break it down for us. What should we expect on Friday night?
A knockout. That's the first thing we're expecting.
Ooh.
I'm not 100% sure who. I think it's going to be short, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So Thomas Williams Jr. has gotten off the canvas in, I think, at least 3 fights now, and Adonis Stevenson is one of the biggest punchers in boxing. He also was knocked down. He also was knocked down against Fonfara last year. So we're looking for fireworks here. I think it's going to be really short. You have 2 southpaws. Both have huge power. Both have shown that they have chin issues. I think this is not going more than 4 rounds.
Really? Based on how Top Dog looked in the last fight against Edwin Rodriguez, and then you've got Adonis Stevenson, who hasn't been in the ring since about 1942. Is there one fighter you're leaning towards more so than the other?
Well, definitely, you know, Stevenson is going to be favored, and I think he should be. You know, he has a vicious KO power. He is the pick that I think most will do. I think Top Dog is a really live underdog here. The things that have impressed me is that he's always gotten up. So I do think, now maybe he doesn't get up from Stevenson, but he has an amazing right hook once he does. So I am favoring Stevenson, but I'm also, you know, if Williams pulls the upset and gets the knockout, I think that's not surprising. He's a good finisher. It's really going to be who lands the really big shot first, and can the other guy somehow get back on his feet from that. So this is a classic shootout. You know, Thomas Williams, you know, his fight with Rodriguez, I think, went 2 rounds. He had another fight. He had another shootout, which was, I think, 3 rounds. He had the Cornelius White fight, which was 3 rounds. I mean, he goes down, he gets up, he knocks people down, he gets knocked down. He's great TV. Stevenson is going to bring that left hand too. So it's one of those things like, you know, don't be late to the fight. You know, be there, settle down. First 2 or 3 rounds, someone's going to hit the canvas. I just don't think this fight is. I just don't think this fight is going to go the distance. So it's definitely worth watching. It should be good TV. It's possible it could be like, this could even be like a 30, 45-second fight. It could even be like that.
RB, what are your predictions for Saturday or for Friday night?
You know, I think that this fight was the right time for Thomas Williams. You know, they kind of put him right back in there after his big knockout over Edwin Rodriguez, and I feel like he has a lot of confidence. So he only took a week or two off, got back in the gym, started training for this fight. So I think timing for him is good. We see a lot of Al Heyman fighters that don't fight this often. You know, they're sitting 7, 8, 9 months. So I think it's good for Thomas Williams with his activity and his confidence. Adonis Stevenson, I don't really know if he's a fighter anymore. I mean, when I follow him on social media and I'm looking at his Instagram, you know, he's eating, he's partying, he's buying my box and trucks, and, you know, he's got like 100 kids and he's turning up and popping bottles. And I'm like, you know, Thomas Williams is still in Maryland eating dog food, you know, and so right. I think he might be the hungrier fighter, and I think he could catch Adonis Stevens slipping. I do. So I'm actually going to rock out with Thomas Williams on this one.
Yeah, I like it. And I got two things to say about it. First of all, last fight was so I predicted Thomas Williams was getting knocked out in the 4th round last fight against Edwin Rodriguez. So once, you know, and he gets hurt, you know, he's in bad shape in that fight. He rallies, gets the 2nd round knockout. He posts on Twitter my prediction. It's the only one he predicted afterwards, because Thomas and I have interviewed him, like, you know, we've gotten along pretty well. He just wrote, you know, TKO 4, and he's like, how's that look now? You know, and then he came after me a couple times. It was kind of funny, but you know, he didn't take my prediction too kindly last time. So
yeah, he didn't.
I think I'm gonna go with Stevenson here, but it's one of those, like, you know, either one. The other thing, as Michelle pointed out, you know, Stevenson's 38 now. At a certain point in time, he's gonna get old. You know, now he hasn't been fighting this whole time. It's not like he's been fighting 15, 18 years as a pro. But, you know, most 38-year-old fighters, you see slippage, as Michelle was saying. I don't know if he gets old this fight, but it's going to happen really soon, especially with a guy who's not in the gym all the time. He's not always taking care of himself. You know, it could be right for the upset. So I am picking Stevenson here with, you know, if Williams comes back and gets the knockout, well, maybe I will change it to Williams. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. Let's put it this way. Like, I think Williams is a really good shot in this fight. He has a real puncher's chance. So we'll see what happens. And it's just one of those for fight fans. Like, just watch it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, definitely looking forward to that. I'm going to go with Adam, and I'm going to pick Adonis Stevenson for the win too, and maybe around 6 or 7 stoppage. Let's move on to Saturday night. First, let's start with the New York card, big New York card on Showtime and Show Extreme. Leo Santa Cruz is headlining against Carl Frampton for Santa Cruz's WBA featherweight title. Very, very competitive match. Santa Cruz and Frampton have been mentioned together for quite some time, and now the fight is finally here. Adam, who's winning this one and how?
I think Leo Santa Cruz is winning it on points. I think it's going to be a really good fight. You know, I think it's going to come down to his volume and pressure. Mm-hmm. He's just going to win more rounds. I think, like, you know, in any given round, Frampton could be better. And Frampton, even though Frampton's coming up from 122 pounds, Frampton has some good power. He has some good boxing skills. I just think the pressure and volume is going to grind down. So I'm looking at something like a 116, 112, 115, 113 type of win for Santa Cruz. Very competitive, but I think especially in the second half of the fight, I think that pressure and volume is going to be the difference in the fight. I expect it to be really good. I'm actually going to it, so I'll be in Brooklyn Saturday night. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's a great event, and I think it's one of those, you know, it's not getting like the hype of some of the other huge fights, but I think a lot of the hardcore fans and a lot of people that are really into boxing know this is a great matchup, and it should produce a really fun fight, good style matchup, and both fighters will be tested in different ways.
Leo said, Adam, that this could definitely be a career-defining fight for him, and he feels that if he gets the win over Carl Frampton, that it takes him to the next level. And he also feels that the winner of this fight could be considered one of the best fighters in the world. Do you agree with what Leo's saying there?
Well, I've had Leo so I keep like a pound for pound like top 20 list. I've had Leo like falling in and out of like my 20, just as like other people have, had a bit more impressive wins. So he's like right around 20, 21 for me. I think if he wins this fight, yeah, he's comfortably in the top 15 fighters in the world. He really showed me a lot in that win against Abner Maris. That was a great fight last summer, and he showed a lot of dimensions. He's not just like a crude come forward. People used to compare him to Margarito, but he showed a lot of boxing skills. He's a good corner. He has some underrated boxing skills. He can fight off the back foot a little bit. Like he's shown more dimensions, and I was as frustrated with Santa Cruz as everybody. He was this guy with all this talent. He was fighting a lot of no-hopers, and he was part of the Al Heyman, like, I'm not going to challenge this guy. He really stepped up against Maris. I'm expecting him to look very good. I'm expecting him to be tested, especially early. But I do agree with him that I think that the winner, and if it's Frampton, who had a great win earlier in the year against Scott Quigg, the fight was awful. I mean, it was an awful fight, but it was a good win. If Frampton can somehow, beat Quigg and Santa Cruz in a year, that's a fantastic year for him, too. I think either fighter gets into the top, let's say 15-ish with this win.
Absolutely. Wow. And go ahead, RB.
I was just going to say we can move on to Mikey Garcia versus Elio Rojas, the 10-round junior welterweight match, the co-feature in that on Saturday night.
Yeah, and, this is Mikey Garcia's comeback fight. He's fighting a guy like Rojas who's old and, doesn't fight a lot. In his day, I mean, we're talking about Rojas' best win might have been, 2006, 2007. So he was a pretty decent fighter back in the day. He really's been inactive. This really is a ring rust type of fight for Garcia, who should be too big for Rojas. He should win. He should look decent. We don't know. He's been out of the ring for so long. I don't expect Garcia to come back looking like a pound for pound type fighter. But this guy Rojas is set up for him to look pretty good. I don't think this is going to be all that competitive. I see this being a pretty wide decision, or maybe a late stoppage if Rojas is kind of old and doesn't feel like fighting anymore.
Yeah, Mikey's trainer Robert Garcia said, I believe yesterday, that this fight will show the boxing world how elite Mikey is, and that he is a superstar, and he's going to be back in it, and he's going to be the future. And I thought, wow, these are really bold statements. I mean, you're fighting Elio Rojas. Yeah. Right. Robert's saying he's just going to look spectacular, and he's going to be the future of the sport all over again.
It's really a shame, too, because, I mean, we all remember, how good Mikey Garcia was. I mean, I was there live at the Salido fight when he knocked Salido down, I think, 4 or 5 times in the first 3 rounds. I mean, you're looking at that fighter, you're like, this is a tremendous fighter, and he was. He was, great counterpuncher and good personality, and everything was kind of going his way. And obviously he had the big fight with Bob Arum and sat out for a long time. And, I'm glad he's back. To be honest with you, I thought he was going to retire. His brother, Robert, retired really early. Robert was retired before 30. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe Mikey's going to follow the same path. There are people that just don't love boxing. So everything that I've been hearing is that Mikey is, fully dedicated and really wants to get back and, wants to show the boxing world how much, he loves the sport and how good he is. So I'm excited to see that, because I really thought it was going to go the other way. I mean, I really thought he was done from the sport, and hopefully he has a few good years left. And, if he makes a name for himself at either 140 or 135, there's tons of good fights for him. And, I wish him the best. I hope it's a good comeback, and I think boxing will be better having a good Mikey Garcia back in the fold.
Well, here's the fight that we really need to know about, Adam. For the Brooklyn belt, Paulie Malignaggi versus Gabriel Bracero for the Brooklyn belt. The fight we have been waiting for. What's going on with Paulie Malignaggi versus Gabriel Bracero? Because I'm tuned in. I got to see who gets his Brooklyn belt.
You know what's funny? Between this fight and, like, the Tevin Farmer, Ivan Redcatch fight, so I'm the type of person, like, when I go to a live card, I'm not there at, like, 6 or 5:30 at night to, like, watch 14 fights. You know, I go to, like, the televised card, maybe 1 or 2 undercard bouts. Like, I'm not usually there that early. You know, I want to see the big fights. So those two fights, Malignaggi Bracero and Farmer Redcatch, it's going to get my ass there at 7. I mean, I'm actually going to go there, go through the duration. You know, luckily I'm not smoking anymore, so I'm not running out. I don't have to worry about that anymore. Things are good. But, I can sit longer now. I'm patient. But no, these two fights are interesting. They are. I actually think Bracero is not a great fighter by any stretch of the imagination. He's a fun, B2C level TV fighter. He has a little bit of power. Malignaggi obviously is on the downswing. He's just fighting because he thinks he can pick up a win here and, look decent in Brooklyn. I actually think Bracero has a very good chance in this fight. I really do. Paulie, his last really decent fight, he got knocked out in against Porter. He's had a couple of lower-level fights since. I think Bracero has a real chance to take it to him. I wouldn't be surprised if Bracero wins at all. Malignaggi doesn't have any power. Bracero is not always focused. He's had stuff going outside of the ring. I think if he's right, he could get the upset. I don't think he's favored here, but I think he has a chance to pull it off here.
Well, there's a lot on the line. That Brooke and Barclays belt is serious.
Yeah.
Also on Showtime Extreme, Ivan Redcatch versus Philly fighter Tevin Farmer, 10-round lightweight fight. I love this fight. Fight. I think it's going to be a really, really good fight. How do you see it, Adam?
Well, there's a couple of interesting angles of this fight. First of all, Tevin Farmer was this kind of forgotten Philadelphia fighter. If you look at his record, he was fighting people. He was way overmatched earlier in his career, and he talked about it. Like, he had bad management and, nobody thought too highly of him. And so he was kind of forgotten, and then he kind of rededicated himself to boxing. He's been on this big, 14, 15-fight win streak, looked very good, brought in his opponent a few times, upset some people. I think Farmer's a better fighter. The only issue is this. He is moving up from 130 to 135. Mm-hmm. Farmer can punch, Redcatch can punch a little bit. Now, Redcatch is one of these highly thought of prospects a few years ago that, everybody's excited about. All the prospect people are like, this is great. And that's just turned out to be not true. He just isn't that good. He's a very limited fighter who can punch a little bit. So my thing is, if Farmer can take Redcatch's punch, he will win this easily. I think he will win a decision. I think it won't even be close. So if he can take the punch. We don't know that. We got to see it. I'm expecting that he can, even if he gets dropped. I expect a fairly wide decision for Farmer, but with the caveat that Redcatch can punch a little bit. So I like Farmer here as long as he doesn't get caught by something stupid or just overwhelmed early, because Redcatch is also a front runner. I think he should be in the clear. It's been a nasty, build-up on social media. These two have not been liking each other at all. And the other thing that's a nice angle is Lou DiBella. Redcatch is one of, Lou DiBella's, prized guys, and Farmer was signed by DiBella recently. So I think there's some, bad blood here in that, who's the one that's, more in favor of their promoter? Who's the one that's getting the push from the promoter here? And I think I don't think it's going to be a beautiful fight. I think Farmer is, unfortunately, he's one of these Philly defensive guys who is a good fighter, but he's not, to my eyes, I don't think he's a fantastic TV fighter. He's a really well-schooled boxer, does a lot of clever things in the ring. If this fight is really good, that means Redcatch is doing well. If this fight sucks, that means Farmer's probably blowing Redcatch out, and boxing to a wide decision.
Yeah. There's a lot on the line in this fight. We gave the word on the curb about a week or two ago, but this is actually Tevin Farmer's audition for Al Heyman. So we mentioned this a week or two ago. So this is the fight he got. They got him on Show Extreme. He severed ties with his manager that he's had for the past, 3-4 years.
Yeah.
And this is his big audition. So if he gets past Red Koch, he'll be signing with Al Heyman.
I think his old manager was like the head of Ruckus Collision here in Philadelphia.
He
and
is.
I say that, and I say that not mocking. It's just Tevin had a lot of nice things to say about him, but he's the one that kind of, invested a lot of money in Tevin and kept him active. And it's just, boxing makes really interesting bedfellows sometimes, how people get together and involved.
Well, you got a guy like Tevin Farmer who signed with Lou DiBella, but he didn't have maybe the right team behind him. So Lou does all these PVC shows. However, Tevin wasn't able to get on any of them. So it kind of took, making some moves with his infrastructure and his management team to kind of get on, unfortunately. So I don't think it's something that he necessarily, wanted to do. It was almost like something that maybe he had to do for his career. Yeah.
Well, the other thing is, one more thing about Farmer, and just because, I've watched him, I am from Philadelphia, and I can't say I'm the biggest Philadelphia cheerleader. There are other people that would tell you that I'm the exact opposite of that. Sometimes I'm tough on them, and I can be. Farmer has a good personal story, and, I root for him to do well, and I think especially in today's boxing, guys get 3 losses early in their career, they're giving up for dead. So it's really, it's an unlikely story that you see a guy that's kind of put himself back into contention and looking for bigger things. With that said, he doesn't have a lot of power. He doesn't always stink out every fight. It's not like that. It's just he doesn't have the mentality of like I'm gonna go destroy this guy. He's a boxer.
Mm-hmm.
He's a technical fighter. He's good. He's very good, but. I don't think you're going to watch him and Tevin Farmer be like, oh, my God, I now have, 5,000 new Twitter followers. So I root for him. I root for him. I hope he does well. He has a really tough style, and so he's going to need to be a champion to make real money in boxing, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, let's go over to Indio, California, HBO Latino. We had Antonio Orozco versus Abner Lopez in 10 rounds, junior welterweight fight.
I've seen Orozco a few times actually, and he's one of these 140-pounders that's kind of really close to a title shot. Espinoza Boxing is really high on him. I had an interview earlier in the year with Frank Espinoza, and he was one of the fighters they are really pushing. There's a lot to like about him. Very high work rate, kind of deceptive power. I like him. His opponent, Lopez, I think I've seen one fight of his, perhaps 2. Let's be honest, it's a smaller show. Orozco should be winning this. He should be winning by, a mid to late round knockout or a wide decision. This is kind of an in-between, stay-busy fight for Orozco. And I think the fact that it's on HBO Latino shows that HBO still wants to be in the Orozco business. They're looking at him as somebody that could be a factor at 140 pounds moving forward. So I expect him to win, and this is set up for him to look pretty good, get the win, and move forward. So it's kind of an in-between, stay-busy fight. That's how I look at it.
And finally, on that card also from Indio, California, Jojo Diaz versus Victor Proa. Kind of an audition for the upcoming Canelo card. Is Jojo going to have any opposition that night, or is he just going to dance around the ring?
Okay, so Proa has fought one time since 2006. I wish I was making that up. Like, I looked this up, like, really, because I'm like, I feel like I know boxing a little bit. I'm like, I don't know this guy. So he fought, like, the guy fought, like, a lot. I don't know what the hell happened to Proa. He fought one more time earlier this year after, like, 8 or 9 years and is now back. So there is no way in hell that Jojo Diaz should be struggling in this fight. There is this is another, like, domination, 100 to 90, 99, 91 type of fight. This is not going to be an issue. However, there are things to look at with Jojo Diaz as he's developing, which is interesting. Very good fighter, smart, good corner. Is his power and is his strength going to develop? There's a lot of good fighters at 126 with, young fighters, Valdez, who just won last week, and Diego De La Hoya. They're all kind of coming up at the same time. They're all either Mexican or Mexican-American. It could be a fantastic rivalry there. Diaz has a lot of tools. He doesn't have Valdez's power. I don't even know if his power is even decent. And so that's something that I'm continuing to watch. He still is young, but he's never going to be a knockout artist. But the question is, as he keeps, growing and getting in higher profile fights, does he have enough power to at least keep opponents honest? So I don't think we're going to find the answer out on Saturday, but I think that's something to watch moving forward, because as much as we like theories about Diaz, Valdez is going to be knocking people out left and right. Valdez has that power. Diaz is a lot more, much more, a boxer. He moves more, but does he have that power to hurt people at a higher level? So that's my little nugget on Jojo Diaz.
That's really, really great point. You were talking about Valdez last week, and he looks so good. And I got to ask you before we let you go, how good is Terrence Crawford?
Terrence Crawford's fantastic. He really is. And by the way, I got to bring this up with you. I'm going to talk. You have to hook me up on the Bomac. I still want to talk with him at some point in time. He looks fantastic. Now, I was surprised. Going on social media, there was definitely a portion of the fight fans that weren't overly impressed with the performance, and I think a lot of it had to do with they said, well, why didn't Terrence Crawford take more chances? Why couldn't he be a little more offensive? Why didn't he open up more? Blah, 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 blah. I thought he looked great. He knocked the guy down twice. Postal, he hurt him. He beat the number 2 guy in the division. He made it look really easy. I thought it was a wonderful performance. It's an elite level. I bumped him up way up on my pound-for-pound list. I have him up as number 5 now. I mean, he's one of the best fighters in the sport. Now, that doesn't mean his style is everybody's cup of tea. He could be cerebral, as Floyd Mayweather was cerebral, Andre Ward sometimes. These people like to break down opponents, and they take their time doing it. Terrence Crawford is not rushing out from the first round looking to destroy someone. He's looking for openings and opportunities, and he'll seize them and he'll take advantage of them, and he looks great. However, there are certain types of boxing fans that love blood and guts, and, Terrence Crawford is not that guy. That's okay. There's a lot of different types of fighters out there. To me, that was wonderful to watch, and I think his future is really great and bright, and I thought it was an amazing performance.
I did too, and I'll say this again. I've been to a fight in Omaha. I've been to his fight in New York. We were there in Las Vegas. Every one of his fights are completely live, completely packed. Awesome environment, awesome atmosphere. If you can get to a Crawford fight, again, he might not be your cup of tea, but if you like going to good events where it's packed and you have a lot of fun, try to get to one of his events, whether it's in Omaha or somewhere else. So anyway, Adam, we're going to let you go.
Thank you.
Make sure you follow Adam as SN Boxing and his website, SaturdayNightBoxing.com, and his Facebook group, SN Boxing, which I love so much. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thanks to both of you. Thank you for having me. Have a great rest of the show. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks.
Thanks, Adam. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with our first guest.
The Caribe Hilton Hotel in San Juan, Puerto Rico will host the 29th WBO convention October 17th through October 21st. The World Boxing Organization is a sanctioning organization currently recognizing professional boxing world champions such as Sergey the Crusher Kovalev, Gilberto El Zurdo Ramirez, Terrence Bud Crawford, Jesse La Nueva Generación Vargas, Roman Rocky Martinez. Registration forms and advertising opportunities are on our website at WBOboxing.com. The WBO also has a mission that extends beyond the ring, so help join the WBO on this fight, and for more information on the WBO convention in Puerto Rico and the Kids Drug Free program, visit WBOboxing.com.
And we're back. You are listening to the Ruckus Podcast. I'm Jay. I'm joined with RB and Jay talking more boxing this week. We have a special guest joining us. We were expecting Jose Benavidez Sr., but it looks like we have Jose Benavidez Jr. joining us tonight. Good evening, Jose. Glad to have you with us.
Hello, how's it going? How are you guys?
We're good.
Going really great. Congratulations on your victory Saturday night at the MGM in Las Vegas on the Crawford Postal undercard. Definitely interested in talking to you about your performance and about your victory.
No, thank you. Yeah, well, we had we had like I said, we had a great camp before. The fight I think went well. Went well. Just got a little tired. I hadn't fought since December, but I mean, I think I beat him. I heard the interview. This guy talking a lot of trash, saying that I was being a bully, and I was talking about his family. Like first of all, I want to get things clear things out. I never not one time mentioned his wife or his kid or anything. I think I hit him. I think I hit him too hard in the head that make him think that I was saying that stuff. That's what happened. This guy, I don't know where he got that from, but not one time did I say that. So I just wanted to clear that out. And then he thinks he won the fight. After the fight, if I wanted to, I could have gone to the club with a clean face. He couldn't have done the same thing. He couldn't have done the same thing. His face was all swollen and bruised. Like I said, I could take a picture right now, and I have not one bruise on my face. I can't say the same thing for him. So.
Damn. Well, look, we were not expecting you to call in tonight, but we're glad you did because we did talk to Chia, and you did. You won Saturday night, but unfortunately, it was a little bittersweet for you. The crowd was booing, the people were angry at the scorecards, and this is not your first time experiencing this type of backlash. So, does it make the win not as enjoyable for you?
I mean, the win is enjoyable for me because first off, I was there to lose. Everyone thought Chia was going to beat me. I was in the blue corner. He was there to win. So if the fight would have been close, they would have gave it to him. Obviously, they gave me all the rounds, and I beat him easy. Like I said, I mean, the face from a boxer's face after the fight, you could say a lot from that. You could tell a lot. I had not one scratch on my face. Like I said, you can't say the same thing for him. He's probably still using shade right now. So,
Junior, this is the Junior that we like. Listen, we realized when you walked out into the ring that you actually walked out first. So were you the B-side in this fight? We were kind of confused and taken back by that a little bit.
Yeah, no, I was like I said, the blue corner is always pretty much the opposite, the one that's gonna lose, and like I said, that's why I don't know where he thinks that he won the fight. He was there to win. He was red corner. He walked out second. He was the favorite in the fight. And I mean, if it would have been a close fight, he would have won it because they always choose the favorites. And I mean, obviously not. I mean, that guy. First of all, he was hitting nothing but elbow shots and behind the ear. Every single jab I threw would land it. So I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I think I hit him a little too hard Saturday night to make him think that he won the fight.
We noticed that in this fight, you chose to fight southpaw. You're usually an orthodox fighter. Why did you choose that strategy against Chia Santana?
I used it because I felt that it took him off a little off his game plan, and he wasn't every left uppercut that was thrown.
We had you on our show a few weeks ago, and you talked about how you like fighting off of the ropes. Do you, after fighting once again that style, do you think that's something you will continue to use and develop in future fights?
Yeah, I like fighting off the ropes. I could see, like I said, I could see everything coming. The thing is, I got a little tired in this fight. I don't know, like I said, maybe because I hadn't fought in a while and I had a pretty long time. But I mean, I think we did what we had to do to win the fight.
So would you say that during the fight, the tiredness that you felt was from ring rust? I know you picked up a new strength and conditioning coach for this fight. Did you feel like it was that you guys worked well together and you'd like to continue going with him in the future?
No, it's not. It's nothing to do with him. I've worked with him before. I've been working with him for a lot of years. It's just a little ring rust. But I mean, I got my second win back in the 7th round. So I mean, if we would have got 12 rounds, I would have guaranteed I would have stopped him. He was already. I think it was 9th, 10th round. He was already looking at his corner, and even one of his trainers said, "We can't do anything for you." Like he looked at him like with the face like he didn't know what to do. So I don't know where he got this that he thinks he won. But I mean, I'll let him keep thinking that.
Yeah, he's having a really tough time swallowing this. I mean, we had him on Monday morning, and he says, when I lost to Saddam Ali, he's like, I was able to accept it. He's like, this I can't accept. This I cannot swallow. So he mentioned, calling his management team up and trying to get the rematch. Is that something you would consider? What would that even do for you?
I'll give him a rematch whenever he wants to. I'll beat that guy all day with the jab, just with the jab. I mean, he won't beat me. He won't beat me, no.
All right.
The boxers try to say all kinds of things, but after that fight, not one time did he say, "Hey, let's get a rematch" or anything. He just, first of all, I can't even open his eyes. It's all pretty much almost shut. So I mean, he didn't say not one word.
We in the aftermath, we heard you say that you want to fight Jesse Vargas in your as a possible next opponent. Vargas said he wasn't that familiar with you or what a fight against you would do for his career. Do you think that's a fight that can be made realistically, like for your next fight?
Well, I mean, I've been trying to fight Jesse Vargas. He's already. We tried to fight him at 140 like 2 years ago and didn't want to take it. So I mean, I know I'll beat Jesse Vargas. I'll fight him. I've been trying to fight him. I'll fight him. But we're ready, you know. And I mean, like I said, I think I did what I had to do to win Saturday night. I wish, you know what we could have done. I wish we could have taken a picture of my face now and how Chia's face looks, and post them on Instagram. See how his face is all messed up and mine is spotless.
Send them to us.
Junior, where has this Junior been? This is what we've been wanting from you from years, like just the raw Benavidez. So look, obviously your spirits are high. You don't sound like you're down whatsoever. We were like, wow, is he going to be down or is he going to be like, fuck him? And you kind of sound like, fuck him.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I mean,
Uh-oh.
You have to just get out of your shell here and there. You know, you can't just be quiet all the time. So,
That's
I mean,
right.
these guys like to talk trash. Well, hey, I'm gonna talk trash back. You know.
That's right.
When are you reporting?
Right.
When are you reporting back to Cali to go back to work?
Probably. I told them to give me another fight as soon as possible. Maybe like a couple weeks or so.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, you know, we're still running. Huh?
Go ahead. No, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry,
You're still running and.
Oh yeah, we're still running, jogging, but you know, not doing the intense training raw, but I'm still keeping in shape. So, you know, I told him to get me in the ring back as soon as possible. So.
All right, and one final question before we wrap up with you for the evening. What's going on with the Savannah cat? Is the Savannah cat still making it around the Benavidez house?
Oh yeah, no, that's my baby. She goes everywhere I go. She's kind of not liking the Arizona heat though.
You know what you got to do. I don't know if they give you permission, but you know, when you have a fight, any chance you're gonna ring walk with the Savannah cat with you to the ring?
Maybe when she's old. Maybe when she's a little bigger. Because right now a lot of people don't know about those cats. They're gonna be like, this guy's crazy walking with the regular cat. But I mean, once it's bigger, then you kind of can tell it's not a regular cat. Then maybe I'll try if I can.
Oh. All right. Well, Junior, it was a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you for calling in and speaking your piece and being raw and unfiltered. We like it. We like it. Keep doing it and letting people see the real side of you. So congratulations again on your victory, and we hope to talk to you again very, very soon.
No, thank you guys, and you guys have a wonderful night.
You too.
All right, thanks.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with Jose Benavidez Sr.
When the mind is ready, the body prepares for war. So next time you engage in battle, protect your hands with the best. War Tape, the original branded tape. Order yours now at wartapebrand.com and see why the enemy will fear you. wartapebrand.com. We put hands on you.
And we are back. You're listening to the Ruckus podcast, brought to you by RB&J. Just had a great time talking to Jose Benavidez Jr. about his win Saturday night over Chia Santana. So let's bring in the other Jose Benavidez, the father, trainer, co-manager of Jose Benavidez Jr., Jose Benavidez Sr. Thank you for joining us this evening.
Hey, guys. How you guys doing? Thank you for inviting me over to your show, guys.
Always a pleasure.
No problem.
Always a pleasure.
No problem. Congratulations on your victory Saturday night. We were just talking to your son, Junior, and we were saying, unfortunately, it's been a little bittersweet for you guys, you know, because people were really angry with the scorecards and the crowd was booing. And this is not your first time experiencing this type of backlash. So, Jose, did it make the win not as enjoyable for you?
No, first of all, let me tell you, I had nothing but respect for Francisco Santana. This guy, man, every time we're fighting somebody, if it's David or Junior or any other fighter that I have, I try to look at what they do, like their Twitter, videos, and I try to learn a little bit about them, how they live their life, you know, and how, you know, what I learned about this guy, you know, I like the guy. You know, he's a really nice guy. He has a really good husband, a good father, and he has a beautiful wife, you know. So, you know, every time I see this guy, you know, I will shake his hand, all his teams, his manager, his trainer, everybody. Every time I will walk up to them, and hopefully they're hearing this because I'm not making this up. You know, every time I will walk to them, you know. I thought it was a good fight, you know, with fighting this guy. But now, you know, he's talking a lot of shit, and he's saying that, you know, he's been getting dressed, his wife is getting dressed. Man, come on, we're not like that, man. You know, we've been through a lot. His Junior's car, you know, got burned in the camping. That when we had the camping, his Mercedes got burned. It was like worth $70,000 somewhere around there. You know, it was burned, and we had to go through all that. You know, and a lot of things like that. Man, but that's not our style. You know me. You know my whole family. You know, we don't disrespect nobody. You know, but I'm really happy that for Junior, and I'm really happy that we took this fight. But because first of all, a lot of people don't know. We went up there, and we were the opponents. He was the A side. We were the B side. And if you see Carl Moretti, when they were saying the scorecard, at the end, he's like, with his hands on his head, and they were just so mad. They had a plan with Santana. You know, they were going to make this superstar, you know, guy beat the undefeated fighter, Jose Benavidez Jr., you know, and maybe fight. They had something really good planned for him, and he blew it, you know. Now he's crying, and he's saying, you know, that he won that fight, you know, and that, you know, we'll give him the rematch right now. You know, talk to your manager, talk to your promoters, you know, and we'll do the rematch. You know, I guarantee you, you know. Thank God this fight happened because now Junior, I spoke to Junior and I told him that this is all your fault, man, you know. It's because, you know, you're not serious 100%. You know, now this is what happens, you know. Now we were the opponents for, since you were 17 years old, you were the A fighter all the time. But this is a business. You got to understand, man, you know. This kid has a good story. You have a Savannah cat. He has a family, a little daughter. If he wins, you know, he's going to put her to school, this and that. You know, the wife broke up crying, you know. He has a good story. You only have a cat, you know, but they don't know what we go through, you know, every day. And, you know, I mean, but he blew it, you know. They had something really good planned for him, and he couldn't do it. And this kid, you know, he has no talent, you know. He's just a working bee, you know. I mean, he just comes and throws punches, you know, and I don't know. I don't know what I have to tell you.
Listen, you mentioned that you guys were the B side. I didn't really realize that until you guys entered the ring, and you guys were entering the ring first. And I thought, I was a little taken back by that. I didn't realize that you guys were the B side.
When we got to the lockers, this is your blue. Oh, shoot. Okay. B side, huh? Hey, no problem. I mean, hey, you know, hey, we're here now, you know, and then everything started weird, you know. Everything's like people are attacking me, you know, just to get out of my plan, you know, game plan and all that, you know. And I'm like, finally, after the fight, you know, I'm like, whoa, thank God that happened because now we open our eyes and I talk to Junior, you know, from now on, it's your decision, man, you know. But that's good because we were the B side and we got unanimous decision, you know. I mean, they helped him as much as they could to win this fight. They had really good plans for him, and he couldn't do it, you know. I mean, I don't know what else they're going to do with him, you know. I mean, we got another fight, and, you know, we'll fight anybody, you know. Junior's job is to get ready and, you know, I'll negotiate any fighter is. But if they're listening, send us the contract. We'll sign it right now. We'll give them the rematch now, you know, as soon as possible, you know. Whenever they say, you know, because I guarantee you now, you know, what I've seen of Junior now, you know, when I talked to him, he was very upset, and now, you know, he's going to come back and train. He's running now, you know, and, man, I'll bet any money he'll knock him out this time. He hurt him in the second round, you know, and now he's more hungry, I think, and hopefully he stays like that. That's the best thing that could ever happen to us.
Yeah, let's be honest a little bit here, Jose. The scorecards were a little crazy. Oh, it's a little loud there.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm here working out with David, man. He has a fight coming up next week, and
yeah.
We're here at LA Fitness. I try to go to a kind of quiet place, but here's like a jungle here.
No problem. Did you agree with the scorecards? I mean, I think there was like one judge who had it a complete shutout, and I think that's why the fans were so angry. And Junior can't cut a break, but it's the judging.
Yeah, but listen, you got to understand this, you know. We were the B side, you know. And the thing is, he was throwing a lot of punches, but in reality, you tell me, how many punches did you really see clear, Junior was catching with those uppercuts. He hurt him in the second round. He hurt him a couple of times, and those punches were just throwing. Then Junior was still the rounds with those uppercuts, body shots, and moving around, I'm not a judge, but I respect what they did, and like I say, I think if Junior was a little bit more serious and he was a little bit in more shape, he would have knocked this guy out, no problem.
Right. There were a number of rounds that we saw Junior fighting in the southpaw stance. Why did you guys pick that strategy against Chia Santana?
Junior and David have been doing that since they were kids. I think they feel comfortable. They want to confuse their opponents a little bit, and it works all the time. So that's something that they decide what to do, southpaw or whatever. The only thing I care about, don't go to the fucking rope. Don't go to the rope. Because that's when I kind of lose everything. But, what can I do? And everybody sending me texts, like, hey, why don't you tell them not to go to the rope? Why don't you show them to fight in the middle of the ring? Oh, my God, if you had any idea,
That's funny you bring that up.
Are you there?
That was going to be my next. That was going to be my next question. Asking you about him fighting on the ropes. Clearly, it makes you crazy. Why does this kid insist on going to the ropes? Is it a Muhammad Ali thing? Why does he like to go to the ropes?
Well, I look at it this way, If he wants to go to the ropes, okay, let's fucking work on the ropes, Bend your knees, throw the uppercuts, move to the side, because he was working sometimes on the ropes, and he would throw a jab and get out, throw a punch and get out. I'm not going to compare him to Muhammad Ali, but Muhammad Ali used to spend the whole rounds in the ropes, Why Floyd Mayweather is not likable, because he uses his defense a lot, They have different styles, I don't know, I don't know. I just don't know. I hate it, and I wish that he wouldn't use that. He looks beautiful in the middle of the ring using that jab, coming up with combinations. This guy looked like a sitting duck right in the middle of the ring, Why go to the rope? Right. I don't understand, too, I hate that. We in the training camp, we were not going to the ropes. I would get, whatever you do, just don't go to the rope. Use that jab, push him back, set him up, step forward. Don't go back,
Right. It looked like around the third round or so, it looked like he was sucking wind a little bit, and he was gassing a little bit. When he was on a moment ago, he said it was a ring rust. Do you agree with your
I think it's a combination. I think it's a combination of everything. I think he has to take this thing a little bit more serious. He has to be in the gym, even though if he has to fight or not. He just has to work a little bit harder. He has the talent. You've seen the talent that he has. He just has to be a little bit more dedicated. And take things a little bit more serious, But at the same time, you got to understand he just turned 24 years old. I think now with this fight, I think he finally got it, So, we're opponents now, But the good thing is that he's still undefeated, So now we have to look impressive and keep winning, But definitely he has to stay a little bit more focused and discipline, dedication. I think you're going to see a new Junior. If not, what can I do?
Yeah, so we had Chia on the show on Monday, and he's having a really tough time accepting this loss. He said, when I lost to other guys, I accept the loss. He says, but I can't swallow this. He cannot get past this, and he reached out to his management team. He wants the rematch. Are you surprised that he feels so strongly and that he won the fight?
Well, when you get promised a lot of things, if you beat this guy and then we're going to make you a superstar, and then, you know that you lost the fight, and everybody sending you the texts, and, everybody that likes him because he's a nice guy. Everybody just to make him feel good. They're telling him, man, you won this fight, They robbed you, they did, they that, In reality, come on, man. He didn't get robbed. He lost that fight. So finally he's like, oh, I did win the fight, So now, where did he go? He's 30-something years old, Unfortunately, everybody that Junior fights, their career goes down, I mean, look at Mauricio Herrera. What is he doing now, Oh, he didn't want to get
drinking.
The rematch. Because, Mauricio Herrera, he didn't want to get the rematch because he wanted bigger and better things, I mean, where's he going to, All these guys like that, I mean, what do they do? Junior's only 24 years old. He's undefeated. These guys have a lot of losses already, They give him a big opportunity, and all they can do now is, they say, oh, they won, but they're not going anywhere,
Right.
Their future is gone. I mean, what can he do now? Are you there?
Yes, we're still here.
Yeah, I mean, I would feel the same way too. You know, if I got beat by a 24-year-old, you know, and I'm 30-something. You know, where do I go from here? You know, I think my career is done. You know, I mean, who else are they going to put in there? You know, who else is he going to fight? I mean, yeah, he's going to fight somebody that's going to beat him again. You know, because he doesn't have that style to win. You know, he's just a working beat. You know, I mean, now I did hear a little bit of what he said. You know, that's not the way he fights. You know, he's more technical. Why are you fighting a fight that you're not comfortable in, you know? I mean, someone come in and push Junior around and take him to the ropes, and then he did that, you know, he couldn't do anything when he was in the ropes because his torso was so moving and this and that, so why didn't you step back? And when you step back, you got hit, you know? So, I mean, if you get another technical fighter or somebody has a little bit more talent, you know, I mean, you can get beat, man. You know, I mean, why not use your head a little, move your head a little bit, use your jab, you know, go to the body first and then go to the head, you know. But they just want to knock them out, you know.
In the aftermath, speaking of next opportunities for Junior, Junior said after the fight that he wants a fight against Jesse Vargas, and Jesse Vargas is saying he doesn't know who Junior is. He doesn't know what a fight would do for him in his career. He don't know nothing about him. What is your opinion on Junior?
We've known Jesse Vargas since the amateurs. He knows Junior. He's a really nice guy too. I shake his hand every time I see him, and I always tell him, "Hey man, give it the opportunity, man. You're a good fighter. No disrespect. You know, I like you because what happened to you too on your fight. You know, I mean, you had the last fight he fought. He was up in the hallway. He had no dressing room. He was supposed to lose that fight too, and he won. Now he's a big star, and you know, and I give him props for that. You know, he knows who we are. You know, I mean, we'll fight anybody. We never duck nobody. You know, anybody that they put us in front, we'll fight anybody. You know, I mean, how are you gonna? I mean, if we beat Jesse Vargas, that will take us to another level. I mean, whoever they put. If they want to put other guys, they can put whoever they want to put. I mean, we're still undefeated, you know. Junior's still undefeated, so why not beat them, you know? I mean, bring those good guys, you know, so they can knock them out. They can stop them or something, you know. I mean, the only way we're going to know is by fighting them, you know. I think Jesse Vargas, I mean, he's not a pressure guy, you know. I like him, you know. I mean, he's not so technical. He doesn't hit hard, you know. I mean, he's very relaxed. So, whoa, man, that would be a beautiful fight for us, you know. I mean, Santana, you know, he trained his heart out, you know, for this fight. He trained so hard like never before because he had a big opportunity, you know. He couldn't do anything, you know. And everybody's going to have problems with somebody that just comes in and throws punches like crazy and gets you off balance and all that, you know. So, I mean, anybody that just a brawler, you know, is going to give problems to anybody. But he didn't give us problems, you know. Junior beat him, and like I said, you know, I'll be honest with you. I will be honest with you. If Junior was hit or hurt a little bit, I will tell you. But he never got hurt. He got Santana hurt a lot of times.
Well, we were going to ask you what Junior's been up to, but he obviously called in. He's in Phoenix chilling with his cat. And, you know, we were wondering how his spirits were because, again, here you guys win another fight, but there's all this scrutiny. And, you know, how do you stay positive? I mean, was he down after the fight, or was he like, fuck him?
You know what? No. I talked to him. You know, obviously, you know, we want to make the fans happy. But if we can't do that, you know, we just continue to fight. You know, hopefully one day they like him, you know. The only thing that I tell you right now, he has to stay focused. He has to stay more dedicated and have more condition. You know, you can't just come and get ready for a fight, you know. I mean, of course you're going to get tired. You know, now if you stay dedicated, we get a fight or not, you still train. You know, this is your job. This is what you do, you know. And hopefully, you know, he understands now. He's the underdog. He's the opponent, you know, and hopefully that makes him mad, you know, or something, you know. I mean, or something, you know. But what I seen, I talked to him, and he understands, and I mean, it was a little bit painful for him, you know, to be the opponent. But, man, I'm so happy that happened because finally it opened his eyes, you know. And now we're going to work a little bit more, and he's coming back to train. He's going to stay in shape and be ready for whatever comes, you know. I mean, but I know it. To me, I'm super happy, you know, that happened, you know. If that wouldn't happen, you know, I think
you're so funny.
I mean, it's the truth, you know. I mean, hey, another way, you know, what the hell, you know. But now he sees that, you know. But like I said, man, you know, I really like this guy a lot, Santana, man. I really like him, you know. But now, you know, man, you know, I just want to beat him now, you know. So hopefully they could give us. I want the rematch. Let's fucking have the rematch, you know. We'll knock you out,
Do it.
You know. Yeah,
right.
definitely. I'm his manager, let's do it, talk to his manager, send me the contract, let's do it, before it gets cold, This guy doesn't really want to fight him. He says, I want to fight him in a couple of fights, I really want the rematch, I want to get a fight or two, let's do it right now,
Mm-hmm.
Well, Jose Sr., it isn't. No, go ahead.
Yeah, maybe, like he said, maybe he could use his own style and make it better for us, if he's not as aggressive, if he wants to be a counter, that would, oh, my God, I would love that, He would do the same thing, he doesn't know how to do nothing else,
Right, absolutely. Well, Jose Sr., it is always a pleasure speaking with you, unfiltered, giving us the real deal. Best of luck to David, who's fighting on August 6th in Philly on the main event on ESPN. You got a busy camp life going on over there. Again, a pleasure. Congratulations on your victory on Saturday night, and we look forward to speaking with you in the very, very near future.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you guys for having me. Man, I was praying for you guys to bring me in here so at least I could say something, Thank you so much.
That's right.
We're always phone call away anytime, Jose.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, guys.
All right, have a good night.
All right.
You too. Bye-bye.
Well, that is it. It is now 9 o'clock, and that's our time. I want to thank our guests, Jose Benavidez Sr., Jose Benavidez Jr., Adam Abramowitz kicking off the show with us, recapping the weekend fight schedule. Always a pleasure being with my girl, RB. We'll be back on Monday with the Morning Punchin' Show. Make sure you tune into the fights. Make sure you visit RagingBabe.com and shop at the Raging Babe store. Make sure you visit BadCulture.net. Bad Culture TV, tons of new interviews from the Chocolatito press conference, from the fights in Vegas, just tons of stuff. Always a pleasure being with you on Wednesday night, and we look forward to talking to you again on Monday and over the weekend on Twitter. Take care, and good night.
We're out.